What's up, guys? I'm Spencer.
Alex Sturgeon.
We are here at the 2024 Jconcepts Internationals. In today's video, we're going to be talking about a little bit of the RC hobby background that Alex has in his hands. He kind of runs the majority of the store here and the RC tracks that we have. Alex, you want to take away and give you a little bit of the background of what you do here and how long you've been working?
Sure. I started here at the Hobbyplex in 2004, about 9 months after the place opened up. So we're in our 20-year anniversary. We're kind of celebrating that this year, actually. And in 2005, I was in charge of putting in a big, giant, dusty, crappy dirt outdoor track. That was like 200 by 100. And then that kind of turned into some fun 8-scale racing for a while. And then we had to move it. So we moved to our current location. It was still outside. And then in 2011, we put a roof on it. And it's just been banging away ever since about 2011. We've held a lot of Jconcepts INS races. We've held a lot of Jconcepts 8-scale races in the past, some oval stuff. We've held the Roar Nats twice. We've held the E-Buggy Nats twice. We've held some carpet on-road tracks here in the carpet a couple times. Yeah, I'm kind of in charge of I'm mostly in charge of the off-road, but when it comes to some of our big national events that we've held in the past, I'm also in charge of finding sponsors and kind of organizing all that sort of thing and just getting everything lined up with banners and making everything look nice, make sure we have enough pit space.
I mean, it seems like with the experience that you have over the years, you kind of have a grasp of how things should be ran in a professional manner. Kind of get to see a lot of the different sponsors that come and go, which is nice. This is my, I don't know, third or fourth time I've been here. It's been a while since I've been here at the Hobbyplex. Matt, have you raced here before?
Yeah, this is my
second time.
This place is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, so basically about this video, wanted to have Alex here to kind of talk about kind of the racing scene for 17.5, 21.5, and 13.5, and maybe get a grasp of maybe any sort of tips and tricks that you can kind of give other track owners or other racers that come into the hobby. And this video, it's a little bit talking about some of the Hobbywing stuff. We obviously have a lot of different variety of different products when it comes to the 17.5, 13.5, 21.5. We also have lock timing stuff, kind of covering all the basis between the classes. And I know you guys have a few different classes that have helped maybe your local racing scene. Maybe you have goals in mind and maybe making changes. Or what can you give to the public that are people that are watching to help their local scene races?
So we were one of the early adapters of the independent class to make sure that we have an expert class where if my rule is if you have any sponsors at all, you have to run expert. You can't run independent. And that's helped us locally. The people that actually buy stuff from us, they pretty much all run independent. And it's no sponsors allowed at all. And I think that's really important. It gives that crowd a chance to kind of shine, have their own A-mains, get a chance for the bump ups.
I did have one question. Independent. When you say independent, does that mean 17.5 or 21.5? What is that?
Oh, sure. So on our big track, we don't have normally a 21.5 class. Our independent two-wheel is 17.5, and our independent four-wheel drive is 13.5. When we switch to carpet in the wintertime, our tracks are quite a bit smaller.
Sure.
And I just thought 17.5 was way too fast for those guys. So our independent class on carpet is 21.5, but it's still an open timing, open motor. But it seems to really help those new people, especially people who have never done carpet before, that I'm able to grab from our beginner class and talk them into racing carpet in the wintertime. They seem to really be able to get around the track without running in and breaking a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the motors nowadays with the new technologies that are out there, I mean, Maddie runs a lot with the Raymond twins, and like at Hobby Action, Larry Tom has introduced the 17.5 lock timing for the four-wheel drive class. I mean, Maddie, you want to maybe talk about like our new lock timing motors? I mean, the amount of power that they make and how efficient they run.
It's pretty much a 4-pole motor in the KV of a 17.5, so it's got all the power of a 4-pole. But Larry and Jake over there are getting the gearing set to a certain gearing, so it's not unsafe because those motors with open gearing, we ran them at home trying just random gearing and they're so fast.
Yeah, it seems that most tracks are kind of making a gear ratio limit, so that kind of makes everyone at the same speed.
We've thought about that for the carpet side. we didn't even run a 21.5 class until about 2 years ago. And it seemed to be okay. It wasn't that big, and then this year it got big, and I started thinking about trying to do something like that. So
Yeah, I mean, for you guys, this is a pretty big track. This is one of the more, I wouldn't say unusual, because I love this, that it's so big, but it's definitely bigger than most dirt tracks. So I can maybe see 21.5 why it wasn't popular, maybe a double or a triple that they want to do. But at the same time, you know, people that are getting into the hobby, you know, people always ask, what motor should I get in? What class should we run? I always feel that if you're just getting in the, you know, for hobby action, they do the 17.5 and 21.5 lock timing class. And I don't know, SDRC, what do they do?
It's just they do 21.5 and then they do a sportsman 17.5 and 13.5.
Right.
I feel like the 21.5 class, like if you don't restrict it early on, it's hard to get those guys to want to run fixed timing stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, you basically get adjusted to something that's already kind of fast, and you don't want to go slower. I can totally agree with that. But, I mean, you know, one of the things that, you know, we just recently released, Matt, do you want to talk about our new, like, 13.5 and 17.5 G4Rs?
Yeah, they've been super successful so far. With Levi Raymond winning the 2024 off-road Nats at HRC, so that was pretty good for the debut of these motors coming out. Everything's been pretty smooth so far. Working with the guys in the factory and all that stuff has been super easy. So.
Yeah, so the G4 series, the G4R series is basically our next, I guess you would say professional grade or racer grade, up from like the just stock motors that we have here. You know, that's basically the top of the line motors that we offer. And then if, like I said, if you're a new person getting into the hobby, like Alex said, like the 17.5, the 21.5 stuff is pretty popular. Is there anything that you maybe give some tips and tricks about, you know, how you guys have been running your program to another hobby shop, or anything that you can think of that class-wise, motor-wise?
Class-wise, motor-wise, on our on-road racing, we do a locked-in belt 21.5 class for a couple of those classes.
Okay.
And we still leave it open gearing, but the locked-in belt stuff, it's just, it kind of brings the speeds down a little bit and makes more level playing field for those guys. And they're cheaper.
Yeah. So
when new people get into an on-road class, they're not just you know, overwhelmed by the cost of everything. It can be, it can be for sure.
I'm overwhelmed with off-road stuff.
Yeah.
There's so many settings and stuff.
Yeah, besides that, for the off-road stuff, I think we've been really successful because we kind of have a tier system. We have our Plex Spec beginner class. We have a special night pretty much devoted to just that. We are able to pick off some of those racers and turn them into Saturday racers where they run independent for a while, and then some of those guys eventually move on to expert. We've got a whole group of kids here: Andrew Thomas, Daniel Bender, TJ Williams, Dalton Conrad, some kids waiting in the wings like Alex Eichler, Colson Chadwell. They're starting to go through our program a little bit, and they get faster and faster, and every year you can see them improve. And now some of these kids are running up there and expert, and I think that's a cool thing to do. If you can get it, it took us a while to kind of get that going, but once it's gotten going, it hasn't fallen off, and it's been a really good thing for us, because a lot of times these teenagers stuff, they grow up a little bit. Some of them get out of RC, some of them find girls, some of them find real cars and stuff, and so you got to replace them. So, you know, you're able to get the beginner class started and move up from there.
That's important.
Yep.
All right, I think that kind of covers everything. I really appreciate you kind of tuning in the video with us.
Yeah, no problem.
And he's doing the race announcing and director this weekend, so he's multitasking right now. So thanks again,